Hello, good morning everybody. Today's I will teach you the lymphatic system including the lymphatic vessels and the lymphatic tissue. When circulating blood reaches the capillary part of this, its fluid content passes into the surrounding tissue as tissue fluid. Most of this fluid re-enter the capillary at their venous end. Some of it is, however, returned to the circulation through a separate system of the lymphatic vessels, usually called the lymphatics. The fluid passing through the lymphatic vessels is called the lymph. So here you can see this diagram. There is a lymphatic system. It not including this lymph vessels, but it also including in the lymphatic organ also. So here there is a lymphatic organ including this lymph node, then this thymus, spleen and tonsils. So this one are the including in lymphatic system. So lymphatic system include the lymphatic vessels and lymphatic tissue. So lymphatic system, here you can see this diagram. This one are the lymphatic vessels and this one are the immune cells. So first line of this defense mechanism. So main function of this lymphatic system are the defense mechanism. So course type of this drainage system. Component, there is a lymphatic vessels, central lymphoid tissue, peripheral lymph node, lymphoid organ, circulatory pools of the lymphocyte. So this one are the including the lymphatic system. So lymph capillary, lymphatic vessels, lymphatic capillary, tissue cells, arterioles, blood capillary and venules. So here you can see this diagram. There is a lymphatic vessels and lymphatic duct. So when circulating blood reaches the capillary part of its fluid content pass into the surrounding tissue as tissue fluid. Most of this fluid re-enter the capillary at their venous end. Some of it is, however, returned to the circulator through a separate system of the lymphatic vessels, usually called the lymphatics. The fluid passed through the lymphatic vessels is called the lymph. So these are the lymph capillary and this one are the tissue fluid. So you can see this are the capillary end of this arterial end of this arterial system and venous system. Here there is a capillary network. So blood capillary network, there is a diffusion of this fluid. So fluid passes through the lymphatic vessels is called the lymph. So this one are the lymphatic vessels. The smaller lymphatic or the lymph vessels are lymphatic capillary that join the together to form the large lymphatic vessels. The largest lymphatic vessels in the body is thoracic duct. So here you can see this lymphatic system. So artery containing the high pressure oxygenated blood and it return into the capillary. Through the capillary, here there is a vein containing the low pressure deoxygenated blood and here there is a mixing of this blood at the capillary end. Tissue fluid with the oxygen and the food pass out of the capillary and here there is a tissue or the cells. So tissue fluid with the cells waste product enter the capillary through the cell to capillary and lymphatic fluid, it is main function. There is a tissue fluid which cell waste product enter the lymph vessels and here there is a lymph capillary, lymph node and there is a large lymph vessels with valve. So these are the main function of this lymph node. Return to the circulator through the separate system of the lymphatic vessels, so usually called the lymphatics. The fluid passing through the lymphatic vessels called the lymph. The smallest lymphatic or the lymph vessels are the lymphatic capillary that join together to form the large lymphatic vessels. So these one are the lymph capillary, they join together to form the large lymphatic vessels. The largest lymphatic vessels in the body is thoracic duct. So here you can see this one are this thoracic duct. Thoracic duct, it is the largest lymphatic vessels. So largest lymphatic vessels in the body is thoracic duct. It drains the lymph from the greater part of this body. The thoracic duct enter by joining the left subclavian vein as it junction with this internal jugular vein. On the right side there is a right lymphatic duct that has a similar termination. So the lymphatic system play an important role in providing immunity. So largest lymphatic duct are the thoracic duct and it provide for the immunity. Now peripheral lymphatic organ, there is a lymph node, spleen, epithelial lymphoid tissue, lymphoid lymphoid nodules in the alimentary tract and respiratory tract. So this one are the lymph node, thymus and tonsil and the adenoid, spleen, Pierce patches within the small intestine, appendix and bone marrow and lymph node and lymphatic vessels. These all are the including in peripheral lymphoid. So what is the function of this lymphoid organ and lymphatic system? It provides B and T lymphocyte, absorb and remove the large protein molecules, remove cell debris, foreign particles, transport of fat from the gut. And lymph node act as a filter, phagocytosis and cellular and humoral immune response. So this one are the main function of this lymphatic. So here you can see this production of this lymphocyte. So activate the T lymphocyte, the bone from this bone marrow. There is a immature B lymphocyte are produced, and bone marrow produce the T lymphocyte. T lymphocyte goes into the thymus, and here there is a lymph node, and the spleen there is a activate of the T lymphocyte. And B lymphocyte runs into the lymph node and it not goes into the thymus. So name is given the mature B lymphocyte. Then lymph node and spleen mature B lymphocyte it get a mature, and there is a plasma cells and monocyte are developed. So this one are the production of this B and lymphocyte. So lymphatic organ consist of these lymphatic cells and extracellular matrix and are completely surrounded by a connective tissue capsule. Example lymph node, spleen and the thymus. So lymph node, spleen and the thymus, this one are the main lymphatic organ. Next, first lymph node. So what is the lymph node? Lymph node, lymph node are the small round or oval structures located along the pathway of the lymph vessels. Range in the range in the length from the 1 to 25 millimeter and typically are found in clusters that receive the lymph from the many body region. Axillary lymph node receive the lymph from the breast, axilla in the upper limb. Inguinal lymph node it receives the lymph from the lower limb in the pelvis. Cervical lymph node receive the lymph from the head and neck. Lymph nodes are also found individually throughout the body tissue. So this one are the lymph node. So here you can see this diagram or structures of this lymph node. It is being safe at the small mass of the lymphatic tissue along the course of the lymphatic vessels. The lymph from a part of this body. So here you can see this with some exception pass through the one or the more lymph node before the entering the bloodstream. Lymphocytes are added to lymph in this node. The lymph node acts as a filter removing bacteria and other particulate matter from the lymph. Each group of this lymph node has a specific area of the drainage. Each lymph node consists of a connective tissue framework and of the numerous lymphocytes and other cells that fill the intrinsic of the network. The entire node is bean shaped. The concavity consists of at a hilum. So this one are the hilum. So this shape it is the bean shape and concavity it consists of the hilum of this lymph node. For the hilum, blood vessels enter and leave the node. Several lymph vessels enter the node on its convex axis. So this one are the convex axis. Here there is entering of the several vessels. So several lymph vessels enter the node on its convex axis. Usually single lymph vessels leave the node through the hilum. So this one are the basic structures or the shape of this lymph node. Now microscopic structures. So here you can see this microscopic structures of this lymph node. When the section through the lymph node is examined in at the low magnification, they are the low magnification up to the 20x. So low magnification you can see the node has a outer cortex and inner medulla. So this darker one, this one are the cortex, and inner one lighter zone, this one are the medulla. So outer part are the cortex and inner are the medulla. So this zone are the medulla. So this one are the microscopic structures of this lymph node. The surrounding by the cortex there is a lighter staining zone which is lymphocyte. Name is given this medulla. So outer cortex and inner lighter zone are the medulla. Surrounding by the cortex there is a lighter staining zone In the lymphocyte, a few are called the medulla. A lymph node is surrounded by a capsule. The capsule consists mainly of these collagen fibers, some elastic fibers, and some smooth muscles may be present. Here you can see this outer covering portion. This one at the capsule. So here label you can see this one at the capsule. So what is the capsule? It is nothing but it is the surrounded by lymph node is surrounded by a capsule. Capsule consists mainly of these collagen fibers, some elastic fibers, and some smooth muscles. Just beneath the capsule, there is a subscapular sinus. Just beneath the capsule, this space name is given the subscapular sinus. This space is name is given the subscapular sinus. So beneath the capsule there is a subscapular sinus. A number of the septa or the trabecula. So here there is a entering this number of the septa. Name is given this trabecula. This one are the lymphatic nodules. This one are the medullary sinus, and here there is a entering this one are the trabecula. So entering the capsule inside within this lymph node. So number of the septa or the trabecula extend into the node from the capsule and divide the node into the lobules. So due to this trabecula, it divided into the lobules. The hilum is occupied by mass of the dense fibrous tissue. A delicate network of the reticular fibers occupy the remaining space, forming a fibrous reticular framework within the node. Associated with this network are the reticular cells, macrophage, dendritic cells, and the follicular dendritic cells. Now the cortex. Outermost within this one are the cortical area or the darker zone is the cortex. Within the cortex there are the several round area that are called the lymphatic follicle. This one are the lymphatic follicle or the lymph node. So within this lymph node there is a darker zone rounded area is called the lymphatic follicle or the lymphatic nodules within its reticular framework. Lymphatic nodules, which are the aggregation of the small lymphocyte and are called the primary nodules. So this one are the primary nodules, and those with the germinal center are called the secondary nodules. So germinal center जहाँ पे this lighter zone name is given this germinal center. You see this germinal center within this lymphatic nodules. This one are the secondary nodules. So lymphatic nodules with aggregation of the small lymphocytes called the primary cortex, and those with germinal center called the secondary nodules. So this one are the secondary nodules. Germinal center is the central light stained region of the lymphatic nodules. They mainly contain the immature proliferative lymphocyte. Lymphoblast germinal center indicate the response of the nodules to the antigen. Small lymphocytes encircle this germinal center and form a ring called the maternal zone. Medulla. So cortex, it is the outer zone and darker one. So some lymph nodes encircle this germinal center and from the ring shape name is given this maternal zone or the corona. So this one are the outer cortex, this area are the paracortex. So what is the paracortex? The region between these nodules, region between this nodular cortex and the medulla is called the deep paracortex. It is mainly populated by the major portion of the T lymphocyte of the lymph node. Hence, it is called the thymus dependent cortex. Now, medulla. So, inner half, this one are the medulla. So, medulla, within this medulla, the lymphocytes are arranged in the form of this branching and anastomotic cord. In the medullary cord, the cord are separated by the medullary sinus. Here you can see this medullary cord and medullary sinus. This one are the darker zone are the medullary cord, and in between this space name is given the medullary sinus. So within this medulla there is a lymphocyte are arranged in form of this branching and anastomotic cord called the medullary cord, and cord are separated by medullary sinus. So contained within this reticular pharynx and medullary cord contain mainly B lymphocyte, macrophage, dendritic cells and plasma cells. Now circulation of these lymphatic nodules. So here you can see this lymphatic nodules. This one are the capsule. Within this capsule there is a subscapular sinus, and this entering the capsule to form a trabecula, and this part are this lighter zone at the germinal center, cortex portion, then intermediate sinus, this one are the intermediate sinus, and this here entering there is a blood vessels. So how it is the circulate the blood from the lymph to the medullary cord. So the enter the lymph node in is pervaded by a network of these reticular fibers. Most of the space of this network are packed with lymphocyte. In some space, however, this space contains the relative few cells and form a channels thought with lymph circulation. The channels known as the sinuses, lined by the endothelium, but their wall allow free movement of the lymphocyte and macrophage into and out of the channel. Efferent lymphatic reaching the cortex outer surface of the node enter the extensive subcapsular sinus. So यहाँ से efferent vessels enter होते हैं, and here there is a subcapsular sinus and then there is enter into the subcapsular sinus. From the sinus, a number of these radial cortical sinus run through the cortex toward the medulla. Reaching the medulla, the sinus join to form a large medullary sinus. It turns the medullary sinus joint to form a one or the more than one efferent vessels. The lymph passing through the system of the sinus come into the intimate contact with this macrophage present in the node. Bacteria and other particular matter are removed from the lymph node by these cells. So lymphocytes freely enter or leave the node through these channels. So here there is a subcapsular sinus, then it entered through the trabeculate blood vessels and it entered into the medullary sinus. From medullary sinus they extend from this afferent vessels. Now spleen. So what is the spleen? It is the largest lymphatic organ in the body, located in upper left quadrant of the abdomen, inferior to the diaphragm and posterior to the ribs 9 and 11. Deep red organ lies lateral to the left kidney and the posterior lateral to the stomach. Can vary considerable in the size and the weight, but typically is about the 12 cm long and 7 cm wide. See this diagram, this one at the location of this spleen. So here it supplies this splenic artery and splenic vein. This one at the visceral surface of the spleen, this one at the diaphragmatic surface of the spleen, this one at the diaphragmatic surface. So at the hilum of this spleen is located here and there is entering the vessels. So this one are the general features of this spleen. Is largest lymphoid organ of the body. It is blood forming organ in fetal life and the blood destroying organ in postnatal life. Since it is in bloodstream, it filtered the blood from the bloodborne antigen and microorganism. So what is the structures connective tissue framework? So structures of this, here you can see this diagram. Here there is a central artery, white pulp, red pulp, splenic sinusoid, trabecula, splenic cord and capsule. So within this microscopic structures of this spleen, except there is a at the hilum, the surface of the spleen is covered by layer of this peritoneum. So it referred to as a serous coat. Deep to the serous layer, the organ is covered completely by the capsule. Trabecula arising from the capsule extend into the substance of the spleen and from the network. The capsule and the trabecula are made up of this fibrous tissue in which elastic fibers are evident. The space between the trabecula are pervaded by a network of the reticular fibers embedded in the amorphous matrix. So this one are the central artery. It enter into this red pulp. So how it is circulate through the spleen? So on reaching the hilum of the splenic artery divide into the 5 branches that enter the organ independently. Each branch divide and subdivide. It travels through the trabecular networks. So here you see the central artery. Further it divide into these 4 to 5 branches. So it divide into the subdivision of this branches. So arteriole arising from the network level, the trabecula to pass into the intertrabecular space. For some distance, each arteriole is surrounded by a dense sheet of the lymphocyte. This lymphocyte consists of a white pulp of the spleen. The arteriole then divide into the number of the straight vessels, that is called the penicillin. So this straight vessel's name is given the penicillin. So penicillar arteriole either open into the red pulp open circulation, or they open into the splenic sinusoid, name is given the closed circulation. So vein from this sinusoid and the red pulp end in the trabecular vein. The sinusoid of the spleen are lined by the modified endothelium. The cells are elongated and are branch shaped called the staff cells. With the electron microscope, a system of the ultramicroscopic fibril is seen in the present in the cytoplasm. The spleen acts as a filter for the worn out RBC. Normal erythrocyte can change shape and pass easily through the narrow passage. In penicillin and the ellipsoid, however, cells that are aged are unable to change shape and are trapped in the spleen, where they are destroyed by the macrophage. So this one are the. Now you can see this microscopic structures of the skin. Microspleen, there is a trabecula, red pulp, this area are the red pulp, this one are the central artery is splenic nodules, and white pulp of the splenic nodule, this one are the white pulp. So what is the white pulp? So white pulp is made up of this aggregation of this lymphocyte that surround a small artery or the arteriole. In HNE stain or the hemocyanin eosinophil staining, white pulp area basophilic because of this dense heterochromatin of the lymphocyte. So जो basophilic area है, this one are the white pulp. Within the white pulp area, this one are the white pulp. Within the white pulp, a branch of the splenic artery is called the central artery. Here you can see this arteriole, this one a red one at the arteriole. So it is the central artery. Right pole of the splenic capsule, and there is a central artery. Splenic artery is called the central artery. So the eccentrically in proportion. So it is not central. So name is misnomer. There is a eccentrically arrangement of the central artery. It constitutes the peripheral lymphatic sheath. So localized expansion of this peripheral lymphatic sheath are called the nodules. The splenic nodules, which have a quite large germinal center, in reaction to antigen exposed, are called the Malpighian body. More than one arteriole may be present in relation to one germinal center. The functional significance of the white pulp is similar to that of this cortical tissue of the lymph node. Lymphatic nodules of the white pulp and are aggregation of the B lymphocyte. The germinal center are area where B lymphocytes are dividing. Lymphocyte of the PALS are chiefly T lymphocyte. Now red pulp. So this area. So red pulp is a modified lymphoid tissue infiltrated with all the cells of the circulating blood. It is like a sponge permeated by the space of the splenic sinusoid lined by the reticular cells. The interval between the space are called the B lymphocyte, T lymphocyte, macrophage, and the blood cells. Endothelium lining the sinusoid has process which make the contact with the adjacent cells. These cells appear to be arranged as a cord or the splenic cord. The cord form a network. The zone of red pulp immediately surrounded white pulp is Malpighian zone. This zone has a rich network of the sinusoid. Numerous antigen presenting cells are found close to the sinusoid. So this one are the red pulp and this one are the white pulp. Now circulation. What is the open circulation and closed circulation? So in case of this central artery, like in white pulp, divide and redivide to form a straight arteriole. Then some capillary are surrounded by the macrophages and are called the sheath capillary. So blood from the capillary directly drain into the reticular network of the splenic cord and then into the splenic sinus. This type of the circulation is called the open circulation. And other species blood from the sheathted capillary directly open into the splenic sinus, which is called the closed circulation. Both form space of the red pulp is collected by the white sinusoid that drain into the trabecular vein. So here you can see this diagram of this trabecula. This area are the white pulp, these are the central artery, these are the capsule invading within to form a trabecula. Central artery of this central artery, it is lies eccentrically. White pulp, this one are the red pulp. So red pulp and white pulp, red pulp are the basophilic in nature and red pulp are the acidophilic in nature and white pulp are the basophilic in nature. Now this diagram you can see this spleen and location of this spleen and its blood supply. So spleen within this abdominal cavity, there is a hilum of the spleen, splenic artery, splenic vein, and there is a location of the spleen, tail of this pancreas situated at the hilum of the spleen. So these one are the anatomic structures of the spleen. So now function. So what is the function of the spleen? Main function, initiate an immune response when antigen are the found in the blood at the white pulp function. Serve as a reservoir for the erythrocyte and the platelet. Red pulp function. Phagocytosis, old defective erythrocyte, platelet red pulp function, phagocytosis, bacteria and other foreign material. So like the other lymphoid tissue, the spleen is center where both B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte are multiplied and play an important role in immune response. A start above the spleen is the only site where the immune response can be started against antigen, prevent in circulatory blood. So this one are the main function of the spleen. Another function in fetal life, the spleen is center of this production of all blood cells. At later life, only lymphocytes are produced here. The spleen contains the largest aggregation of the macrophage of the mononuclear phagocyte system. In the spleen, the main function of these cells is the destruction of the red blood corpuscles that have completed their usual life. This is facilitated by the immune entrance of the blood with the macrophages because of the presence of the open circulation. So macrophage also destroy worn out leukocyte and bacteria. The spleen is often regarded as a store of the blood that can be thrown into the circulation. When required, this function is much less important in men than in some other species. So these one are the functions of the spleen. Now thymus. Thymus is a bilobed organ located in the anterior mediastinum. In infant and young children, it is quite large and extend into the superior mediastinum as well. Continue to grow until puberty. When it reaches a maximum weight 30 to 50 gram, cells of thymus regress and it is eventually replaced by the adipose connective tissue. In adult, it atrophies and becomes almost non-functional. So, thymus is a lymphoepithelial bilobed organ. So you see this location of this thymus. So this one are the location of this thymus. It is bilobed organ. It is seen in atrophy in old people, and because of this rapid autolysis after the death, the organ is also not accessible for the clinical examination as it lies deep to the veniputum sternum. At birth, the thymus weighs 10 to 50 gram. Weight increased 30 to 40 gram at puberty. Subsequently, the organ replaced by the fat. However, the thymus is believed to produce T lymphocytes throughout the life. Thymus has rich blood supply, does not receive any lymph vessels, but gives of the efferent vessels. All other lymphoid organs originate exclusively from the mesenchyme, but the thymus has a dual embryonic origin. So what are the structures of this thymus? Here you can see this microscopic structures of this thymus. So thymus consists of the right and left lobe that are the joined together by the fibrous tissue. Each lobe has a connective tissue capsule. Connective tissue septa pass invade from the capsule incompletely, subdivide the lobe into the large number of these lobules. The capsule and the trabecula contain the blood vessels, efferent lymphatic vessels, and the nerve. Each lobule is about 2 mm in diameter. It has an outer cortex and inner medulla. The medulla of these adjoining lobules is continuous. So here you can see this outer portion are the cortex and this lighter zone are the medulla. So medulla are interconnected with another lobules. So interconnected lobules are within this medulla. Adjoining medulla of the thymic cortex is directly stained because of this densely packed developing T lymphocyte or the lymphocyte. Both the cortex and medulla contain the cells of two distinct described. So two type of these cells are present. There is a B and T lymphocyte. So what is the epithelio-reticular cells? The epithelio-reticular cells or the epitheliocyte are the embryonic. These cells are derived from the endoderm lining the third pharyngeal pouch. The cells form the sheath that cover the internal surface of the capsule, the surface of septa, the surface of the blood vessels. The epithelio-reticulocyte lying deeper in the nodules develop process that join similar process and form a reticulum. It may be noted that this reticulum is cellulitic, unlike the reticulum from the reticular fibers. So this one are the thymus. Now interior structures of the thymus, microscopic structures of this thymus. So there is a Hazel's corpuscle are present. What is the Hazel's corpuscle? These corpuscle are pink stained small round structures with the concentrically arrangement of these epithelio-reticular cells. So these are one are the Hazel's corpuscle. So Hazel's corpuscle are pink stained small rounded structures with concentrically arranged epithelio-reticulars intermagnated with keratohyalin and the lipid droplet. The central core is formed by the degenerating epitheliocyte and macrophage. The functional significance of the corpuscles of the Hazels is not understood. Recent studies have shown that produce a substance which help in lymphocyte differentiated and the maturation. So HN is drawing the section of this thymus. Outer part are the capsule. Capsule goes inside to form a septa, and this septa is divided into this multiple lobules. So darker zone are the cortex and inner zone are the medulla. So medulla are getting interconnected to form a lighter zone, and here there is a concentrically arrangement of this Hazel's corpuscle. So epithelio-reticular cells arrange in concentrically to form a Hazel's corpuscle. So this one are the section of this thymus. Now tonsils. So tonsil are a large cluster of these lymphatic cells in extracellular matrix uh, that are not completely surrounded by a connective tissue capsule, consist of the multiple germinal center and have a invading outer edge of called the crypts. So crypts help trap material and facilitate its identification by the lymphocyte. Several groups of these tonsils form a protective ring around the pharynx. The pharyngeal tonsil or the adenoid are in the posterior wall of this nasopharynx. Palatine tonsil are in the posterolateral region of this oral cavity, and lingual tonsil are along the posterior one-third of this tongue. So they are forming the Waldian ring. So near the junction of this oral cavity with pharynx, there is a number of this collection of the lymphatic tissue that are referred to as tonsils. So here you can see this diagram. This one are the microscopic structures of this tonsil, and here there is a location of this tonsil, pharyngeal tonsil, opening of this auditory tube, palate, palatine tonsil, and lingual tonsil. So palatine tonsil, lingual tonsil, and these all are the referred to as a tonsils. So near the junction of the oral cavity with the pharynx, there is a number of this collection of the lymphoid tissue. Its name is given the tonsil. The largest of these are the right and left palatine tonsil. Person on either present on either side of this oropharyngeal isthmus. Tonsil referred to as the palatine tonsil. Another midline collection of the lymphatic tissue are the pharyngeal tonsil, and it present in the posterior wall of this pharynx. And smaller collection present in the dorsum of this tongue. Name is given the lingual tonsil. So around the pharyngeal opening or the auditory tube, there is a tubal tonsil. So they together form a Waldian ring. So whole tonsil together to form a one ring name is given the Waldian ring. So what is the palatine tonsil? So here you can see the histological structures of this palatine tonsil. So each palatine tonsil consists of the diffuse lymphoid tissue in which lymphatic nodules are present. The lymphatic tissue is covered by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. So this epithelium, this one are the crypts of the tonsil. It covered the stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. So lymphoid tissue is covered by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium continues with that of the mouth and pharynx. This epithelium extends into the substance of the tonsil and its form name is given the tonsillar crypts. The lumen of the crypts usually contains some lymphocyte that have travels into through the epithelium. So epithelial cells and the bacteria are also frequently present in the lumen of the crypts. So name is given this crypts of the tonsil. So here there is a tonsillar crypts. So this one are the lymphatic nodules and within there is a so it lined by the stratified squamous epithelium. So stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, underneath there is a tonsillar nodule, underline there is a lymphatic nodules. So these are the slide of the tonsil. So here you can see this palatine tonsil HNA section. This one are the basement membrane. They rest on the column epithelium and there is a multilayer epithelium, stratified squamous, keratinized epithelium. Because non-keratinized epithelium, so it covered the surface area. Stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium covering the luminar surface of this. So this one are the tonsillar crypts. Beneath the tonsillar crypts there is a lymphatic follicle. So these are the slide or microscopic structures of this tonsil. So tonsil, there is a largest one are the palatine tonsil. So palatine tonsil consists of diffuse lymphatic tissue in which lymphatic nodules are present. So this one are the lymphatic nodules beneath the epithelium. Epithelium are the oral cavity, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. And this crypts name is given this tonsillar crypts. The identification point, there is a tonsillar crypts, epithelium, non-keratinized stratified squamous, and within there is a tonsillar. Thank you for your patience. Here there is a complete the histology of this lymphatic system.